Hello everyone, today I wanted to take you on a tour of my favorite storage room I think I've ever built and show off some of the ideas that went into it, and hopefully you'll come away with a few ideas that you can steal for your own redstone builds. Let's start with how the whole thing works. The system is a mix of copper golems and redstone. Each golem has access to 4 chests that it can deposit items into. Now, I know there are more efficient ways to build a storage system, but efficiency wasn't really my main goal here. I actually wanted to watch the golems wandering around, carrying items, doing their jobs, so I deliberately didn't lock them in place. To use the system, all you have to do is walk into the middle of the room, throw your items onto the lodestone. There's a bunch of hopper minecarts stuffed in there inside the block, so the items will just fall into the hoppers below. Doesn't matter what they are, if they're full blocks, shulker boxes, stackable items, non-stackable items, tools, everything gets processed automatically. So let's take a look at the machinery. The first step is separating shulker boxes from regular items. This is a separator design that I came up with by myself. Shulker boxes are sent off into the shulker box unloader, which is one of my own designs, but ignore this because there's a video coming out soon, the slightly better design. Everything gets lifted up in this water column. The items are perfectly aligned by these amethyst clusters, which is actually a trick I learned from my buddy JPM2. Do check out his channel if you haven't already. From there, the items travel through what has become my favorite way of doing bulk storage now. Instead of stacking the chests vertically the way we normally do, I've flipped it upside down as well, which lets me build 2 rows of storage, and it gives me this huge uninterrupted wall of chests. And you can even grab a shulker box from the bottom row for a quick top up if you want. Here's a slice if you'd like to recreate it yourself. The important thing to note is just the direction of the hoppers, which you can see here from the Vanilla Tweaks resource pack. I absolutely love the look of this. It feels way more grand than traditional bulk storage systems, and I think it becomes really the centerpiece of the room. So if your item isn't found in the first row of sorters, it gets queued up in the second water column and carried over to the other row. You can also grab some items if you threw some in accidentally, which I do all the time. Where do they go after this? Well, I took an opportunity to sneak in some more movement and a little bit of branding here with this S on the ceiling. Until finally they reach the golem section of the build. Like I said, each copper golem is responsible for a small group of chests, and it uses this double chest filtering system. When the golem receives an item, it checks whether it belongs to any of its chests. If it finds a match, it stores it. If not, it just passes along to the next golem, and this process repeats until it either gets sorted or ends up in the overflow. Each slice can sort up to 52 types of non-stackable items, and there's 3 chests per block, so it's over 150 items you can store per copper golem section, which is quite cool. One of my favorite little details is this bridge in the middle. Golem walks over from one side, places the item in the transfer chest, and then once the hopper's done its job, the other golem goes over and collects the items. Now, they're kind of stuck on their own sides with trapdoors and obstacles and stuff, but I just absolutely love the life that it brings into the build, having these guys meet in the middle. These hanging glowberries here aren't just for decoration, they're also easy access to the item filters if you want to. Just remove the middle beehive with Silk Touch, and you can access all 3 chests. So here's an example of one of my filters. As you can see, I've just decided to order these by oxidization. So the oxidized on top, then weathered, then less, and blah. And you can see some of the items aren't even filled in yet. That's no problem. It's very important to keep these first 2 slots clear because these are the first to empty. The signal will increase to 3 until the items leave the chest. So let's take a look at that in more detail. Once it reaches 20% fullness, it will change to a signal strength of 3, and it will empty out again until it reaches the next threshold, which is 13%, or signal strength of 2 again. And I've filled up all of these chests so that one single item added will change it to 20%. So anything added gets sorted right away. Here's an example of my oak wood filter, just for reference. I'm sure you could fit 2 types of wood types into the one thing, but I've got the space, so why not have one for each type? And here is a slice if you'd like to build this for yourself. I'll just do a little circle around here for you. Well, phew, I hope that wasn't too confusing. Of course, it isn't just about the room looking nice and being animated and everything. There are a lot of practical features in here as well. One thing I was worried about was the overflow system getting backed up, because there's a lot of items flowing around in water streams and stuff. So whenever this double chest reaches a certain fill level, the entire input automatically pauses until the system can catch up. This means you're never left with like items filling up or piling up faster than the storage can process them. I've also added quick refill stations for things like ender pearls and other frequently used items. Just right click and you're instantly restocked. Over on my functional wall over here, we have a great little hidden feature in this barrel. It's actually a Shulker box autocrafter. This means that whenever you remove the last Shulker box from the barrel, the system notices that it's empty and crafts you another one automatically. If you ever need any maintenance behind the scenes, there's a hidden entrance over here. Because I always carry a shield, I can simply right click in this corner. A calibrated skulk sensor detects the shield action, sends a redstone signal and opens the hidden door. I've surrounded it with wool so it only works from close range and it prevents from any accidental activations. Over here's my basic smelter setup, complete with lazy bamboo refuelers in the back. Finally, we get to the entrance and exit. You can't leave through the entrance, so the only way out is this exit over here. Pushed by pistons into a water stream, you are up in no time, and a quick trip and a push, and you're back in the base. It's one of those little moments that makes the whole base feel really polished when you come home, you know? Overall, this is probably my favorite storage room I've ever built. It's not the fastest or most efficient or whatever, but I think it's the most enjoyable to use. It kind of ties together a lot of things that I've done in previous builds, but this is really the perfection of all of the ideas, I think. I hope you enjoyed looking at it. Watching the copper golems moving around for me gives the whole place like this sense of life that other storage systems just don't have. And that's exactly what I was aiming for here. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for watching. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.